Так, мы вот пришли, будем сейчас ехать на этом катере ближе к Glacier. И вот вокруг нас Glacier, и вот Надюшка близко со мной. Это высокая гора, это наш бас, на котором мы приехали. И вот такая красота вокруг. Надежда говорила, что я разговаривала во сне.
И говорит, смотри, смотри, как красиво, держись, с той стороны, блыкает, с той стороны заходи. О, видишь, вот такой вот камушек, и Дианочка вот смотрит. Вот держишь, видишь?
Пузырчатый.
Пузырчатый лед, да? Да, так это. Так, теперь мне надо подержаться.
Вот мы уже сейчас на Сибас. Красивый Glacier. Я и цветочки приближаю. Glacier. Впереди очень красивый Glacier. Много голубого цвета.
Something at the end of the lake. Does anyone know what that is?
That's where we were earlier, Anna. No, it's not. Just look like. See down there?
It is a huge chunk of ice. Okay, all the ice that we are seeing today came from Portage Glacier. It all calved off. That means it dislodged from the face, landed in the lake here, and it's floating down. I do actually have two chunks up here in a chest with me. If you want to come up and check them out, feel free to touch them even. You put your ear up to them, you might even hear them crackle and pop. But off in the distance, we can see that chunk of ice, and we also see the visitor center and some buses and RVs. Well, I'm going to take you guys back in time 100 years, okay? To the summer of 1914. We're going to say you happen to travel. It needs to grow as this glacier continues to retreat. It's a pretty impressive thing. Now this glacier, this lake, once again, is only 100 years old. That's pretty young for a lake. Now we're going to continue along these cliff sides here. Those of you that came from Whittier today, you went through a tunnel. And that tunnel was through this mountain to our left. You drove 2.5 miles through the middle of this guy.
We'll go check them out in just a few minutes. Let's hold our spot right here so we can get some good views of the other stuff before we get off the boat.
Вот мы проезжали через эту гору.
Additional 6 feet of rain in the summer. That is a lot of precipitation. Now, if you look around, you're going to see some places with snow still up in the mountaintops. Well, a lot of that will melt away, but some will stick around. And those are places where glaciers are created. The snow up in the mountaintops can actually continue to gather throughout the summer. Anywhere above 4,000 feet, when it's still raining down here, it's snowing up there. They gather up to 100 feet of snow a year. That's so much doesn't melt away, so it piles up year after year and eventually starts to compress under the pressure. It goes from snow to ice, and eventually, once it's 50 feet of ice, gravity comes into play, pushing that ice down the hill. Once it's moving, that is when we call it a glacier. Now, this process is not a quick one. We take 9 months to develop in our mother's bellies. These guys take 10 years to become minimum, to become snow to ice. How they carve out valleys like this. This glacier made this valley. It's kind of impressive. How did that ice do this? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up on the East Coast. My science class had a little tiny paragraph on glaciers, and it told me ice carves rock, period. And I just kind of was left scratching my head. Well, to understand exactly how it does that, I want you to think back to a time your hand was wet, okay? You reached into the freezer to grab some ice. What happened? Did the ice stick to your fingers? It does a good job. Now there's a couple hundred feet of ice. That's a lot of pressure pushing down. Think back to when you used some sandpaper. The more you push down, the more damage you did. Yeah. But also, you put that sandpaper into that wood, you guys got salt out of it, right? Well, here, when you rub two rocks together, you get what we call silt. Silt is a very fine black powder, and eventually made its way down to the lake. Check out the color of the water. Kind of unique, isn't it? It has that milky silver look. Well, that is all because of this silt being left suspended in the fresh water. Fish, they don't really like this stuff because it doesn't allow food to grow for them. No, no fish here is not going to have much fun. I do have some silt on Portage. I'd like to check that out. How cold is this water? On average, this water ranges in between 35 to 40 degrees. And at another great question, how much is this glacier retreating? Well, to understand exactly how a glacier moves, I want you to think of it like a bank account. Some bank accounts are doing just fine. Okay, that's about at max the length of your forearm. But, just like us, it has bills to pay. And sometimes, like when we're on vacation or during holidays, we spend a little bit more. Okay, during the summer, this guy has his bill a little bit higher. It pays its bills through calving, which once again is an example of all the ice we see today, and also through melting, okay? It loses while we're here, okay? For some reason, it always likes to calve in private and wait till we're around the corner, but we want to keep our eyes open. Anywhere that you see white ice, you'll see like a line coming off. That's where it's recently calved. I like to say that you can't, trying to figure out exactly when it will calve is kind of like trying to pinpoint when you're going to be in a certain mood, okay? You don't know how long you're going to be in that mood or when you're going to be in that mood. But you can, you have an idea of what'll lead up to that mood. And join me upstairs and check this out. Check out the color and the texture. You actually might feel a cool breeze because the air actually chills as it rolls across like a natural AC effect. Don't forget, we do have spare jackets, and if that's going to be an issue. But most of all, I want you to keep your ears open because you picture or check it out at some point in time. Hope you guys enjoy.
This glacier moves.
I have a photo prop for you guys to use for your photos here.
Там водопадик. Вот он.
It's amazing she's willing to do very well. Pull them off early.
Don't worry, I got I'm like, wait, that's not you.
Yeah.
You're like stuck in like, no, it's you, picture you. Oh, this is a good one. Y'all turn around.
Daughter-in-laws. This is just the most beautiful draw. Oh, I don't know. I think I've been in every Here, you go. Here, I'll take yours and mommy's picture. Here, okay?
Here, come here, face the.
Yeah.
Look, here, take a picture. Look at JJ for just a second. 1, 2, 3. Hey, if you take a pretty picture with me, you're already in trouble. 1, 2, 3, thanks.
That was not a smile. Try again.
No, мы уже уплываем.
That was good. That was good. That was not ugly.
Дианочка, а ну-ка повернись, поворотись, я тебе сделаю. Где твой нос? И Америка.
Oh, okay.
Together. Yes. Диана, давай. Иди, Дианочка. Вот айсберг маленький плывет. Айсберг вот плывет. И быстро он плывет, смотри. Ой, какой.
Посмотри, какие они голубые.
Да.
Посмотри, прямо,
Да,
прямо
да,
необыкновенная
необыкновенная,
голубизна такая. Чистота такая.
Это айсберг плывет. Вот, и там тоже.
Coffee about to spill all over everybody here. You need to pour your coffee overboard. It's not your cup. Just either drink it or something. It's about to pour all over everybody. Your top has already come off somewhere. Yeah. It's okay. I just didn't want you to spill on people. Our children and I will come to visit. Michael's coming to visit my good son. Yes, and her children here. First time I we had already been to the lower part.
The ice is attached to the glacier. That all depends on it.
You can swim to that thing. Climb up that, although according to what she's saying, that's 20 feet tall, so maybe not. It can't be 20 feet tall. It's down. Yeah, it could be actually. We're probably 20 feet up. Now it's at least it's not clear.
Go back a little bit and then look at how the glacier because just like the river, figures
There is Burns, B-U-R-N-S, and this Portage. Here is Portage, big one, Portage Glacier, and this Burns, B-U-R-N-S. This glacier moves 500 feet a year, moves down. Только что оторвался кусок, и был такой гром. Вот там, где эта арка, оттуда выпал кусок льда. С таким звуком. Вначале отрывался, так бу-бу. Я вначале думала, что это кто-то стреляет. Думаю, кто же здесь стреляет? А это отрываются куски и падают в воду.
Lots of people took by foot. The True Gas people living in St. Williamstown used to use that way journey. They would hike over the passageway, and they would come down the glacier, which covered this whole lake, and make their way all the way to the Turnagain Arm. This was a shortcut they used instead of going around the entire Kenai Peninsula because they wanted to trade or either raid those natives living in the Cook Inlet. Going around would be about a 200-mile open water journey instead of this, let's say, 20-mile journey just hiking across this glacier. But once again, this time, the Chugach people use this, and also fur traders and miners use this area. But during World War II, you might take a journey to later this afternoon.
Высота этих гор 3000, 4000.
The reason for why we come to this area and how we get here has changed.
From the water tank.
Before we go, though, I believe there's around 100,000 glaciers. 10,000 of those glaciers exist here in the Chugach National Forest. And for example, over here in the valley, we call all of those Bear Valley glaciers because only 650 of those 100,000 glaciers actually have names. So if you're feeling good today, go ahead and name one of those after yourself if you'd like. As you continue your journey out, drivers keep your eyes and hands on the wheels, but passengers continue to check those out. And then off to our left, this mountain's going to pull back and reveal Byron Glacier. This is a glacier if you have extra time or you come back out here, you can hike out to. But you will be able to see that when we dock, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled. The hike
Загремел, когда
И я
вначале до того.
Да. Да. Точно.
Сейчас, подожди. Да, снимала. Еще раз.
Такую красоту не описать, не рассказать. И даже если увидеть на фотографиях или на видео, это не то, что ты увидишь, не почувствуешь этот ветерок вокруг. Сегодня, конечно, и вдыхаешь воздух свежайший, и видишь воду. Невозможно описать это переживание. Вот только надо приезжайте, приезжайте сами увидитесь. Ну, вокруг этого города 5 таких глейшеров.
Да.
Вот такие большие.
Да.
That way until we're fully docked and the ramp is down.
Вокруг этого озера. Вокруг этого озера.
Ну, вокруг озера и город.
А город, ой, больше. Город города
Город,
больше.
он зимой 150 это самое людей,
Да,
а летом 1500.
да.
Вот, а зимой 150.
Красивый какой, смотри, Glacier.
Enjoy the weather, конечно.
Я, конечно, enjoy. А вот как она прощает, на прощание нам. Без дождя
Да. И на солнышке.
и на солнышке греться. Ромашки, вау!